What's up? It's your boy Amateur Pro Home Chef Nathanael Levinson, and today we're talking about soy sauce. Soy sauce is the king of umami. Umami being that savory flavor. When we talk about something being rich or savory, we're talking about umami. And soy sauce is very high in glutamic acid, which is the chemical, which we talked about, that activates those receptors that makes something taste savory and rich. So this soy sauce is a fantastic source of umami flavor. Now, there are, although you might not know this from just going to an American food store, a whole lot of different brands of soy sauce. It is kind of all over Southeast Asia, and every country has their own different kind of take on soy sauce. It's all very similar. It's made with soybeans that are fermented using a yeast called Corgi, and it's very rich, it's very salty, and usually it's used instead of salt as a seasoning. But we're gonna go through a couple different kinds, and if you can get to an international food store or a Chinese food store or something where they're gonna have a much more Southeast Asian bent, you'll be able to find some of these. So let's just start with what most people are familiar with, which is gonna be your Japanese soy sauce. I picked Kikkoman because that's the brand you're mostly gonna find. Now this is Kikkoman, imported Kikkoman soy sauce. Does that make a difference? I don't know, but we're gonna taste test and find these. I find that Japanese soy sauce tends to be a little thinner and a little saltier. We're gonna open this bottle up and find out. And yes, I'm going to drink soy sauce straight. So Japanese soy sauce, just gonna take a little bit. It's very salty, but it does have that deep umami flavor. But when you think soy sauce, this is what you're thinking of. It's very good. It's very high salt content. And yeah, when you think of soy sauce, this is what you're thinking of. Let's move over to Korean soy sauce. So Korean soy sauce, I've actually not had before, so I'm more familiar with Chinese soy sauce. So we're gonna try a little bit of Korean soy sauce. This is the Sempio brand. Just on the nose, it smells a little fruitier. It's a little bit thicker. Ooh, And right away, wow, that's good. So right away, it tastes sweeter. And that's because they did actually add a little bit of sweetness to it. So they've kind of balanced the saltiness with a little bit of sweetness, but it does have a little broader flavor. That's pretty good. So not quite as salty, a little bit sweeter, a little more balanced if that's what you're looking for. Chinese soy sauce, again, comes in all different brands. But one of the interesting things that comes out of there is called dark soy sauce, which is soy sauce that's kind of reduced down, and it gets much darker, much stickier. Dark soy sauce has been kind of reduced down, and so it's much thicker. And you'd think it'd be saltier, but it actually isn't. It's actually less salty. Now this variety in particular is mushroom flavored. It's the one I really like. Pearl River Bridge makes a couple different varieties. I really like it. It adds a very dark color, but the flavor is pretty mild. So let's try this one out. So as you can see, it's much more viscous, much thicker, much darker color. And it is salty. It's not as salty, but it has a much earthier flavor, much deeper flavor, kind of like a more base notes, where traditional soy sauce hits a little bit in that medium range, where it's a little brighter. After that, we have aged soy sauce. Now there are a couple different countries that do aged soy sauce, but basically this is soy sauce that has been allowed to age in barrels, kind of like you would age bourbon or a spirit. And I find that aged soy sauce, if you can get your hands on it, this is the one. This is it. Because allowing it to age just adds a whole lot of complexity to the flavors. Oh, and immediately that smell that hits you, it's not just the smell of salty soy sauce. It's complex. It's got a fruitiness to it. It's bold and earthy, and I bet it's going to taste amazing. Now I've had a different brand. This is organic. I don't know that makes a difference. Let's taste it. So it's a thicker pour than regular soy sauce, but not as thick as dark soy sauce, and the color's kind of in between. It's got a different dimension of flavor. It still clearly presents as soy sauce. It's definitely soy sauce. No one could taste that and not think it's soy sauce. But it's just, there's more going on than just kind of that salty umami. There's a little bit of fruitiness, a little bit of funk from the fermentation, and it's just really well-rounded. And sprinkle a little bit of that on top of rice, some eggs, and that's all you need for a meal. I love aged soy sauce. If you can find it, I highly recommend you get it. Finally, we have two ones that are a little bit different because they're not, strictly speaking, just straight soy sauce. We've got ponzu, and we've got sweet soy sauce. Sweet soy sauce is an Indonesian thing. It's very prevalent in Indonesian cooking. It's basically soy sauce that's been mixed with jaggery sugar, which is kind of like brown sugar. It's very, very thick. Very, very thick, and it's very, very sweet. And if you like making teriyaki, I highly recommend you see if you can find some of this. So instead of just sweetening soy sauce, just do like a mixed base of some of this. Yeah, you can see how thick that is. I'm not gonna have all this. I'm just gonna have a little bit. It's very thick. It's very sweet, but still has all the notes of soy sauce. So this is something I would mix with other soy sauces. And then finally, we have ponzu, which is soy sauce that's been mixed with citrus juice. Now, if you just buy the kikkoman ponzu in the store, it's just gonna be mixed with lemon and lime juice. This ponzu has been made with sudachi citrus. So if you depending on what ponzu you get, there'll be different citrus juices incorporated. So I would look for one that has either yuzu or sudachi or something that's not just lemon or lime, because you can make that on your own. You want something that's a little more different. So you smell it, the nose, you can clearly smell the citrus, and of course, which particular citrus is in there is gonna vastly differentiate the different kinds of ponzu. But this one, I'm just gonna use the top since my other one still has a ton of soy sauce on it. It's clearly soy sauce, but it's got that really nice citrus sour notes in it. I love this. Just adds a little brightness to the dish. So those are all different kinds of soy sauce you can get. Again, you might not be able to find this in your like a Harris Teeter or a Food Lion. You might have to go to a specialty food store. But I promise you, these are worth picking up, especially if you like cooking with soy sauce. So until next time, I'm Amateur Pro Home Chef Nathanael Levinson, and okay, I can't use that line. It's time to be a soy boy. Until next time, I'm your boy Amateur Pro Home Chef Nathanael Levinson. It's time to soy it up. That'll do. This soy's not just for goys. That doesn't make sense unless people know I'm Jewish.